Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Stallions Run here on United Football Media. I'm, of course, your host, as always, Buck with Scout. Not exactly a busy week, but still, we have a lot of stuff we need to talk about. So I guess let's get right into it. We got an open house coming up for the Stallions.
Mhm. Yeah, the I believe it's called the Stallion Social. It's coming up
Yes.
next Thursday. It's a weird slot, weird time, but I think today made more sense when they announced the Memphis one. That's happening next Friday, so I think they're just trying to get every hub situated. But yeah,
Hmm.
but it looks really interesting. I know Moose will be there. The new director of ticketing, Corey Hilbert will be there.
Yes,
But
and
yeah.
also UFL CEO Russ Brandon will be there. So quite a bit
Yeah,
of name power coming to this event. Skip Holtz will be also there, so we'll have the coach there. So this event will be from Friday. It will be from Thursday on the 8th, from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. I don't know if I'm going to be there. I'm kind of figuring that one out logistics wise, but
yeah.
I guess kind of what's your thoughts on maybe I will say we're still waiting on a schedule. We're still waiting on single game ticket announcement. We're kind of feel like we're in a holding period for some reason. No rules also. I guess what's your kind of thoughts? We have this open house, but we don't have kind of three important aspects of the league kind of still in a holding pattern. I guess do you think maybe this is an event where maybe some stuff can start to kind of come on out?
Yeah, so I'm of the opinion that like we do have, 8 or 9 days, depending on when you're watching this, until then. And I think with that, it's like we could see a schedule release, or we could see more games on the schedule released. Um, until then. And I think like one thing that I was trying to explain to people is like the season ticket event in the NFL, if they have a season ticket event, they're going to talk about everything, and they couldn't talk about everything with our
Hmm.
season ticket event because we were still the USFL at the time. And I think now we're going to get more in-depth details on like how games are going to operate, if they're going to add anything new to the pregame experience, stuff like that. But
Hmm.
we have a week to figure out all that information. I think that we will figure out all that information, and hey, like either way, I think like the product is getting better.
All right. So you're saying that we're probably going to get a lot of the information, at least schedule and season single game tickets, by the 8th for Steins
I
fans?
I mean, I would think so, and I would hope so. Like the 8th would put us a month and a half before the season.
Yeah, just about.
So so I would hope that by that time we know the whole season, because I know like we were talking about, are we going to go to, or they haven't even announced technically where week one is, but we're assuming it's Arlington. Uh, are we going to go to Arlington, or we're not going to go to Arlington, or whatever? It's like I would appreciate if we knew the other slots, because like if we weren't going to Arlington but we're going to St. Louis, just spitballing here, then I'd be like, oh well, why not be able to go to St. Louis, and I can plan around that time too. So it's just a lot of
Yeah.
different things that.
I will say it has been confirmed that we are playing in Arlington week one. That has
Oh,
been confirmed by ticketing. So that is confirmed. We just don't know the other 42 games where they're going to be located. That's the issue, you know.
yeah.
So then, you know, I guess for me, it, I guess right now the question is when are we going to get this information? Because there's been basically one giant piece of news besides free agency signings that we're going to get to,
Mhm.
which unfortunately Birmingham is not taking part of this free agency signings. It seems like the team's in a holding pattern in terms of, all right, this is kind of our training camp roster, but I don't know. It feels like maybe the league could have done a little more to kind of, it was like every Monday we were getting information, and then like ever since the 22nd, it's just been dead. So that's just kind of my thing, where it's like, they could have done this a lot better.
Yeah.
But just a criticism I have, I'm still excited, and I'm still can't wait for the 30th, which I'm having serious thoughts about going to Arlington. So you might see me there at the
Hmm.
kickoff game, but you know, I don't know. Um, I guess, man, I don't know. It feels like we don't. Ah, you want to have that information, and I feel like right now we're reaching a point where fans. I mean, you can go on social media and see it. Fans are basically begging for it, and that's not that works sometimes in your favor, but at other times it doesn't. So
Yeah.
all right. So just a reminder for Stallions fans: February 8th, 5 p.m. to 6:30. It's gonna be the open house. Have they said which location it's gonna be?
They
It's gonna
said,
be at Protective Stadium
yeah,
Club. So I assume basically you'll just walk into the stadium and go to the club.
yeah.
So
If it's
at
anything
least, hey,
like
maybe they'll have the field painted for by then.
mm, no, because of
I mean, UAB's not gonna be playing.
no. It's because um, isn't Monster Jam or something? There's something with filling or
Oh yeah, you're right. There's
um,
Monster Jam coming. Okay,
yeah.
so they won't have
I'm
that
pretty
field
sure
ready.
that well, they wouldn't have the field ready, but I'm pretty sure that they'll already have dirt in it. Let me look it up.
Yeah. Hang on. Yeah, doing live research. But yeah, I just thought about that. Yeah, the Monster Jam is coming to Protect. I thought it was Legacy Arena though. Okay, but yeah,
No,
Protective
Protective
Stadium makes
Stadium,
more
March
sense.
23rd.
Uh,
So
pro- oh no,
they
that's
might still
so
have the soccer lines up for Legion
yeah,
though.
yeah. All right. Well, kind of moving on. There was a big signing in the UFL today. However, it's not related to the Steins, but I still have some thoughts on it. I want Scout's thoughts also. So many of you guys might know if you follow kind of football YouTube. There's of course the channel Deestroying, and Destroying himself. I'm gonna butcher his name. I apologize. One second. Well, it's Donald D. LaHaye. You might recognize the name because about nearly a decade ago now, but um, back in like 2017, he started the Destroying channel when he was a kicker for the University of Central Florida, and the NCAA famously kind of went down hard on him before NIL was a thing and said you can't monetize your skills basically, and that caused a giant controversy. Of course, NCAA had had the power at the time to kind of shut him down, and he no longer played college football for Central Florida. Um,
Yeah,
Played in the CFL in 2019 for preseason. Then the CFL's American rules kicked in. He was unfortunately released. Was part of the FCF for a bit. They're of course right now in hiatus, but he was the owner for Destroyers, and then basically was just kind of waiting for an opportunity. But then today it was announced he was signing with the San Antonio Brahmas. So here's the thing. If you don't know, I also am a giant fan of minor league hockey. I follow the SPHL, which is Southern Professional Hockey League, and also the Federal Prospects Hockey League. They're single A hockey. They're not affiliated with the NHL, but so they're two very fun leagues. I'm not going to name names because I don't want this person and his fan base potentially tracking us down. But there was an instance last season, a little bit this season also, where there was a very famous YouTuber who's also plays goalie. That's all I'll say. If you track that down real quick, but he was signed into an FPHL team. Um, and look, he's tried for years. This YouTuber, the goalie, to play in the NHL. He very rabid fan base. Let's hang on. Let me. He's not the same size as Destroying, but still respectable numbers. Um, yeah, about 100,000 subscribers. His latest video it's right about 15,000. Nothing, respectable numbers. And not Destroying's 5 million, but still his fan base was rabid enough where if he was not getting playing time, and he would indicate it on his podcast or on a blog, his fan base would basically contact that team's front office and saying, "Hey, why isn't my guy getting more playing time?" And they would go and the FPHL, they put their games on YouTube, and they would just take over the chat, and it would be insanity when these fans would take over. Now, let me say this: I'm someone who believes you do not control your audience. He never told his fans to do this, but this is just from my experience of seeing someone who had a social media presence based on kind of saying sign me, please do that, and it wasn't a good experience because, to be honest, he was not a very good goaltender, even for the league that's considered the lowest professional league in the states. He was constantly third string, and just couldn't make it in the FPHL. Yet he would have these fans kind of hype him up, thinking he was the best thing since sliced bread. So I feel like I'm seeing history repeat itself. This is my indication. Is Destroying a good kicker? Yes. But at the same time, I think there's a reminder he uses edited YouTube videos. We don't see every single kick. We don't see every single attempt. Just I feel like I'm not saying he is not good, because I think he is. We saw him play in college. But at the same time, I feel like you have to remind yourself that you are dealing with social media. You are dealing with fan bases that can get rabid like that. And I am very concerned for the fact, and I mentioned this behind the scenes a little bit when this was announced. What happens if he gets cut? Because he has about Destroying has about, let's see, let me give you the exact number. I can pull it up right now. Hold on. He has 5.7 million subscribers. That's potentially 5.7 million viewers for the UFL. Yes. But that is also potentially 5.7 million people who can go really quickly against the UFL if he doesn't make the team. So that is my concern of what can happen to a fan base and to the league if he doesn't make the team. And again, not saying this is going to happen. This is I've seen examples of it. And this is my kind of my fear. What happens if he kind of blames the team of the league? And now here's the thing. There's been no history of that. There's been no kind of, from him at least. There's been no like, oh, this is going to happen. This is just my concern as someone who's seen fan bases do that. So, Scott, I've been talking for so long. I guess, what's your thoughts? Am I just being paranoid?
Maybe not paranoid. But I do think that there's more connections to the league than just only his social media presence, if that makes sense. Like
Hmm.
Marquette King was one of the first players in the NFL to really interact with him and do YouTube content with him, and
Yeah.
have a presence there. And the fact that Marquette King just confirmed his re-signing with Arlington, like what, the day before this happened? Like I think like that's correlated. And I think like obviously, yes, I do think a part of it with a spring league is yes, this guy can bring us more views, but I think more of it is that hey, he has been around the sport of football a lot. I know he owns the Glacier Boys and FCF, and he own and
Destroyers. Destroy.
or,
He was Destroyers. It was literally named after him.
oh yeah, I forgot they changed
Yeah.
their name, but yeah, but owns a team in FCF, and then he also was with like the Argonauts, like you said beforehand, and
Hmm.
but I think it'll be fine. I didn't necessarily have that same reaction of that whole thing, but I think it'll be fine for the most part. Like, yes, I do think that there could be potential backlash or potential loss of viewers. Like, you're gonna bring in a ton of people into camp. You're probably gonna bring in two place kickers into camp, so he could be on the wrong flip of that coin, and you go with the other kicker. So, but I don't think it would be as toxic, especially because it's like the SPHL and the FBHL are both like smaller fan base wise, so
Hmm.
a diehard fan base can affect that. But I think like the UFL, especially with it being basically the four biggest markets from each side being represented, I think it'll be fine for the most part. But yeah.
Mm. I will say though, it does. You are, again. This is not on Destroying. Let me just make that very clear. But you are seeing some player reaction towards the news. That is very. I hate to say negative, but it is. At least you have players that are not very happy with this. You had Jeff Badette, someone who famously kind of during the Super Draft said, "I apologize if I offended someone." Because he unfortunately was not picked up. He tweeted out about an hour ago as we're recording, saying, reacting to a post regarding the news, saying, "I see what's going on now," and there's other players who are like, why is he getting picked up but not us? And there's other player, Pearson, not even he liked that for like they're saying, "Why not us?"
Yeah.
And I guess I'm seeing that and I have my fears also. It's like I'm seeing a potential recipe for disaster if the potential powder keg that's building potentially goes off. I mean, what's your thoughts to the player reaction? At least so far
Yeah,
publicly.
I mean, I saw that, but I think the overall thing is going to be fine. I think in general, I think it'll be fine, but I do think there is room, definitely room for criticism. Like guys like Jeff Bidet, they basically, work their butt off to get seen in some instance, and then you have Deestroying, who in the like most people would know him not from football, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he's social
Um,
media.
but
Most people would know
but
the
yeah,
name off of
so
social media, not from his. He is he known for his kicking skill? Yes, but most people know him from YouTube.
yeah, and like even I'm just scrolling through
Mm.
like the quotes on Larson's posts, and it's like most people that are commenting on it, whether it's positive or negative, are all just talking about the eyes that it would bring. So
Mm. All right. Well, that is this week. That is it for this week's episode of Stallions Run. Hopefully we got more news to talk about. I am just I cannot wait for a schedule breakdown because I want to talk about the XFL teams we're playing at home and away. Again, we already know Arlington. We're gonna be playing them in Arlington on March 30th. So, Scout, do you plan to be there, or will you be watching on TV like some other Stallions fans?
I assume if I'm not there, I'll probably be up in Birmingham at like a watch party. I hope that they
Hmm.
have watch parties again.
Oh, they probably will.
But uh, I'm looking. I should be able like if I can go, I should be able to go because it's on Saturday, right?
Yeah, the 30th is Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, if it was on
Yeah.
if it was on a Sunday, I definitely couldn't go. But the fact it's on a Saturday and I can drive back Sunday,
you're gonna
then
try.
I'll be
You're gonna drive to Dallas.
well, I mean, I don't know what the whatever
I'm flying.
drive
I'm
or
planning to
flight.
fly.
Oh, I mean,
It's
it's
a it's a
probably very
at least from Tuscaloosa. It's 11 hours, just about. Is it? Hang on, is it 11? Hold on, I can check. Come on. It
from
was either
Montgomery
11 or 8. Now I'm thinking about. Hang on,
from Montgomery. It's a
Dallas,
12-hour drive.
Texas. For me, it would be a come on, be 9 hours for me. 9 hours.
Hmm,
So man, I'm pretty good at doing long distances. I can't do 9 hours in one day. I would rather fly out somewhere else. So,
yeah.
but yeah, all right. Well, if you want to learn more about social, see me do some live reactions to any Stallions news, any UFL news. You can follow me on Twitter at Stallions UFM. You can be connected to what we're doing right there, and see our plus also check out all the other UFM accounts. Scott, where can people find you?
Yeah, at Southern Charm SP on Twitter. And we've been starting to use Instagram and other stuff more, just Southern Charm Sports. And also Scout USFL for other content. So
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Of course, as always, enjoy Stein's Run and have a